All right, so we are here with the Alabama Gurlz. This is LadyBlue from WCLN 1170 AM, located in Clinton, North Carolina, and we are so excited to have these ladies on with us today. We want to take some time to get to know you. I have a couple of questions to ask you today, but first of all, I just want to thank you for taking the time to be a part of this interview and just so that you can educate our listeners about who you all are as the Alabama Gurlz. And so at this time, I have one and only, I should say, Ruby Glenn on the line.
Well, hi, how y'all doing?
And I have Miss Keisha Hayes, too, on the line. Keisha?
Hello, everybody.
Well, I thank you guys again, and just want to start out real quickly with, I just want to know basic. How did you guys get started? What was the catalyst to make you say, I want to start a group called the Alabama Gurlz?
Wow. Well, I'm quite sure we all got that story. Well, when the group first started, we was called Anointed. It wasn't even the same group. And the girls we all were originally from Eufaula, Alabama. They decided they didn't want to travel and stuff like that. So we met Keisha. She was at a singing that we was at, I think her cousin's program or somebody like that. I think that was related to her some kind of way. Her husband was singing, and I really enjoyed her vocal,
Mm-hmm.
And then we met kind of after the program. But, our group was still together then. But we talked with her and stuff. She could tell you her story. She said she had been looking for a group to sing with. She thought it would be nice to sing with us. And so we kind of stayed in touch, she and I did. And then the other girls decided they didn't want to sing anymore. And so that's when I called Keisha. And she didn't want to do it at first. I don't think she was sure about it at first. I kept calling her, and we stayed in touch, and she finally came to the group. Then it was me, her, and Ashley, and another girl. Then that girl decided to quit. And then that's when Step came along after that. But, Keisha was living in Georgia. Step was living in Albany, Georgia at the time. That's how we ended up together, from separations from other groups.
Well, it sounds like, as kindred spirits, you all came together, and that's the blessing in all of this, is that God knows who needs to be together, and he'll, make it that vision plain to you. And then sometimes it takes time. So that's what it sounds like has happened. So, Keisha, you want to share your side?
Well, she basically said, everything that I was going to say. So there's nothing for me to say.
That's just how it happened, and we've been together ever since.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that the Lord put it on your heart. And this was going to be the group for you. So we just thank him for that. So I tell you then, I want to get into a couple of my questions because I do want to understand personally from each side. I want to know who inspired you to sing and when did you start singing?
Okay, as far as me, my grandparents inspired me to sing. I used to follow them everywhere we went, especially my grandfather. He used to take me to rehearsal with him and Uncle TJ and them used to sit me down in front of them and hand me the mic every blue moon, and let me sing like that. But I've been singing since I was 5, but my grandparents are the one who inspired me.
Wow, thank you. And Keisha?
My grandmother and my mom. My grandma wasn't having it any other way. She made us practice daily, and we had our own little, choir. So my grandma and mom did.
So what was the choir called?
The Little Angels.
Oh. We have to find some footage.
I have some.
All right, now. I bet that was wonderful. Well, it sounds like your family members really had a huge impact on your singing careers, and you started out young, so basically I know that it's in your blood. So that's a wonderful thing that you're able to share, your gifts and talents with an international platform now. I don't know if you traveled overseas yet, but it's coming.
Oh, well, we hope we get
there. Have you been? Oh, you
No, we haven't, but we hoping. We hoping one day we make it.
You will. That's not a question. I have the CD in heavy rotation. So if everybody gets a chance to listen to it, they will have it in heavy rotation also. So thank you guys for sharing that. So how did you develop and nurture your love for making music? Because it's one thing to sing. You start out singing with your family and then in the church. You might be in the community. But to make it to this level, to be signed to a major recording label such as Malaco, You have to nurture your love for actually making music and going through the process. So tell me how you all, did that, and how do you continue to keep yourself excited about the music industry?
We just kept going, kept believing. We all wanted the same thing as far as the singing go. We wanted the same thing. We love doing what we do, so we just kept the faith and believed in him and kept going until it was our time, so, and we never did like any shows like conventions and stuff like that. We could just say it was God. It was all God.
Right. And Keisha, what do you want to add?
And then we just stay humble. I mean, we all have the same dreams that, one day we will get signed, and it did actually happen. So, but we just stay humble. And I always want to stay humble because I never want to change. Even though I am signed to a label, I still want to be the same. And that's how the group is. So we're never changing for nobody. A label don't make us. So we're still the same people.
I think you said something interesting to me. You said that you never did a convention.
No, we never did. We went, but we never sung at a convention to get signed or anything. Actually, they had called like a year before, and I never would take interest in it. And so I said, I just felt like maybe he was trying to move something or something out our way so we could go forward. I don't know what it was, but at the time, it wasn't our time. And when he did call back this time, I talked to everybody because it felt differently then. It was different. The way he came at us was different than it was the first time.
Wow. So
actually, it was a little different than it was when they came to the first time. He was more.
Your first one was called Working, right?
Yeah, it was called Everyday Life. The title of the CD was Everyday Life.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Oh, I tell you, and I see you guys walking with your different outfits on, like uniforms. Like the work that you did. And that's so amazing to me. I was like, okay.
This is Stephania.
Hi, Stephania. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I can see her now. I can tell you, I can remember exactly how you all look, too. I can see your face. But anyway, so do you want to go ahead and chime in on, how you develop and nurture your love for making music, in this industry, and how do you keep it going?
Well, I think I've loved music all of my life. Been singing since I was 5. And my mom, out of 8 girls, I was the only one who could sing. My mom was minister of music at our church. So with her being an organist, and she taught me keys. She taught me how to sing in harmony at the age of 5 years old. So I grew up loving singing, loving music, from a child. But I've sang a lot of different musics. I've sang R&B, I've sang jazz, but gospel and quartet gospel is my heart. And how I nurture it, I just, I think if I had not, experienced some things in life, I think that's what always lead me back to, my foundation and my root, is the fact, some of the things that I go through, and I always can find some words to relate to how I feel, and and to be able to rejoice, to know that everything that I've gone through, that he has, he's the one who brought me through it. So, I nurture it, and I guard it as I do my own heart. It's real to me, regardless of whatever, goes on in my life. My music is real. It's real, and it's honest, and it's from my heart.
Well, I tell you, I listen to Ruby, and I listen to Keisha, and they have the same sentiment that, your families really were your backbones. They helped you get started. And I do believe in this will never change, that your family is the one that will really nurture you through this whole process. And if you keep them first, keep God first, keep your family first, that will help ground you and take you much further, I think, than being out there on your own. So that's a beautiful story. And it's wonderful that it ties right into the first couple of questions, and then, to brings you up to this question about nurturing the music. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Now, I want to talk a little bit now about, your ministry? Because, see, you minister through your music. And one of the things that I do as I drive, in the mornings, I have a 45-minute commute back and forth to my job. And so I listen, to different songs and, just to understand and to see if I like it, or not. And number 9 on the Girls Live CD, I Can't Make It. Oh, my gosh. I just cry. Like, every time I cry, but in a worship cry, And so I want to know, why do you think God called you to your ministry of music? For each of you, what does that mean to you? Why did God give you this anointing?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Why do you think God called you to your ministry of music?
You said, why did he call?
Why did he call you?
Why did he call
Stephania and Keisha? Why did he call you out to this ministry?
Because he's seen something within us that the world needed to hear.
And also, it's like with every, I've always believed this, that if just singing is just not enough, having a pretty song is not enough. If it has no ministry, then you're just another female quartet group, and it's 1,000 of them out there. So there has to be something to identify you differently. I make it you have to be separate, or you just going to be in a crowd of female groups, just another group. Right. I make it my business every single day to pick up my Bible so that I don't just, give the people the same thing that somebody else is saying, but to really have a word, in my heart, so that when we do sing, and it's not just singing, that it's ministry as well. You got to have ministry. That's the only thing that's going to identify you different.
You're right. Now, let me make sure now. The first person that spoke, was that Ruby?
That was Keisha.
That was Keisha. Okay, thank you. The first person that answered that question was Keisha, and then the second person,
Stephanie.
I thought so. I can't see your faces, so I want to make sure the audience knows too. Who is speaking. So maybe you might say your name before you speak, so that way we can be clear of who's giving us that word. Now, who else wants to share on that topic before I move on to my next question?
Well, I could just honestly say, basically what Keisha said, he's seen something within us that needed to be heard. I mean, he had to see something. He had to.
And that's, and you know what, God sees things in us that we may not believe, and sometimes are not manifested until much later in life. We all have our own course to travel, our own road that we have to go down, and it takes some time for us to realize who we are, especially in Christ, and to even be able to share with the world some of our gifts. We may not feel like we are talented enough. And so I know that we all have to overcome at some point so that we can prepare ourselves to fulfill our destinies. And you guys are fulfilling the destiny of many, many, many folks. And I love what Stephanie said. She said, there's 1,000 groups out there singing, a lot of groups. And one of the things that people, me personally, I like this about myself. The first time I hear a song, I can hear the first 2 words. Maybe I should say 3. I should say 3. But the first couple of words that I hear is going to tell me whether that song is anointed or not. And if it's not, I'm taking it out. I don't even play it because I don't want to share something that's not anointed, with my listeners. So I like to feel that when I play a song, is because I know that it touches me there. And every song you all have touches me. So I could play I could play them all day. It wouldn't bother me. But, that's a beautiful thing, and I thank God for that gift because we don't want to just be out there singing or talking and not touching folks and making a difference in their lives. And, so I really am excited that you all are a group that understands the importance of using your gift. So I want to take a few minutes. There was another beat that came that I heard. Was that Ashley? Did she come on?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. I'm glad you made it on. Well, we're going through some of our questions, and so if you want to take a few minutes, Ashley, and share with us, and I'm going to move on to the next question. So just like I did with Stephania, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about the songs that you all sing. From your perspective, which songs have had the greatest impact on you personally, and why?
Well, honestly, I can't say that I just have one particular song, because all the songs that we sing minister to me. Being women, most of the songs that we sing are about things that we've actually been through in life, things that we're going through, and we're able to share that with other people and encourage them that they too can come out of situations.
All right. And that flows right along with what we were speaking about in reference to, this being your ministry and how it touches people. And so you all have been pretty successful, and I love what Ruby shared and what Stephania shared. But one of the things that Ruby said was that God saw something special in you. He did. But it also takes work on your part. So I want to know from the group, and anybody can chime in, about success. I want to know, what are your 4 tips for success in life and also in the music industry?
And this is Stephania. The only way that you're going to make it in life and even in the music ministry is, my 4 tips is the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the Trinity. Bottom line, nothing more. If he is not first, there is everything else. You may as well forget everything else. You got to first seek the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and everything else, the success, the career, everything else will come to you. You don't have to pursue it. Your blessings will pursue you, but it has to be in order, and that's God first. Nothing else. To me, it just don't come. That's the only way it can come. Is he's got to be first. He has to be the foundation.
Amen. That's exactly right. Who else wants to add to that? It took you all together.
This is Keisha. I'll just say my favorite thing: in all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path, and that's what he's doing. You got to first acknowledge him. You got to.
Okay. So I see that you all, and it's nice to hear, when you talk to some individuals, they want to use the word I all the time. They did something, when really we know that it was God that did it. And I love the fact that you all reference him. And so I want to take just a second, and I want to ask each of you, because we're speaking about success. I'm going to start with Ruby. Ruby, what is one tip that you would give to aspiring quartet groups in their families? Those individuals that want to break into the business. What would be a tip you would give them? Oh, it must be Ruby that's going in and out. That's okay. All right. So let's go to Ashley. Are you on with us?
I am.
Okay, Ashley, what would be one tip you would give to aspiring quartet groups?
First things first, and I must say that you have to be humble. You have to love what you do. You have to have a love for Christ, and I feel that everything else will fall into place. Ruby?
But we're talking, Ruby, about one tip for success that you'd like to give to aspiring quartet groups. What would you like to share?
A tip for success. Faith. Keep the faith and believe in yourself. That's my tip.
Thank you so much. And I want to go next to Keisha.
Yes, I would say you got to stay humble. Even after the success, still stay humble and true to his word. So, and you'll go far in life.
I like that. Just stay humble. And I went ahead and I was looking up some of the scriptures. I'm going to ask you guys to tell me what scripture grounds you, but there's one that I particularly like that I found. I'll share that in a few minutes. But Stephania, what would be one tip you would give to aspiring quartet groups?
One tip is that I think most think that it happens overnight, but it doesn't. You got to endure. You got to have perseverance. You have to press regardless, the times of singing at anniversary to anniversary. Everybody, people don't understand that there was a long time for that before this even came. So I think you have to be, you gotta endure. You got to have endurance and stay focused. Stay focused on what you want. You got to stay focused, but you got to have endurance.
All right. So, I'm looking at James 4:10. It says, humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. And it sounds like, you exercise that on a daily. And I can hear that in all the comments that you make. And that makes me humble. That makes me say, wow, I'm so glad that I've gotten an opportunity to know the Alabama Gurlz. And our community will now know who you are and what you stand for. And I think that speaks louder than any song that you could ever record. Is for people to really know who you are and that you're following Christ. So I really do appreciate that. So the next thing is I want to know, of course, what plans do you all have to, grow your career? And also what's new for the Alabama Gurlz? What's coming up in, the next couple of months that you might want us to know about? First of all, I want to know, how are you going to grow the Alabama Gurlz? What's going to be the next step to take you to that next level in your career? And then I would like to know what's new, maybe something you have in the works as far as a project in the next couple of months.
Oh, okay. As far as something new, we haven't started working on anything yet because, this album just came out in August of last year, but we do have to be preparing ourselves for the next album. But we haven't prepared ourselves as of yet. We're just traveling and singing right now. And
I know you're doing a lot of that, right? A lot of traveling.
Well, yeah, we had a little break, but coming up, we got some dates coming up. Yeah, we got a little break as of right now, but we'll be starting back out sometime in March. We got some dates, but not some months are better than others.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell the world now. They're going to hear it. They need to bring you guys to their city. So don't worry, you might get a few more.
That's great. That'll be great.
So make sure you get some rest.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about fostering your career because all of you are committed to the Alabama Gurlz. So where are you going to take the Alabama Gurlz? What's going to be the next level of success that you're aiming for?
Okay, this is Ashley speaking, and on that part, I just like to say that whatever God sees fit and where he leads, we're willing to follow.
I like that. Any other comments?
Nope, she said it all. Not from my end. I don't know what nobody else got to say, but she said it all.
Well, there's one thing I want to know. How did you all meet Michael Boykin, the Prince of Gospel? How did that happen?
I met Michael Boykin some years ago at in Albany at the family reunion. I met him some years ago, and we kind of lost contact, and then we kind of got back in contact again, and we've just been cool ever since. So that's how I met Michael Boykin.
Now, this is Ruby?
Yeah, this is Ruby.
You said at the family reunion. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he was at, it was a big family reunion. It's a big gospel singing they call a family reunion. Where they bring about 18 to 20 groups on the show in Albany, Georgia, and they call it the family reunion.
Wow.
And I met him that year.
Okay.
He was singing on that show, and that's how I met him.
Wow. History.
Yeah.
And it has all come full circle. That is so wonderful. Now, one of the things, there's two things I want to do before we close. I want to get quickly from each of the members, because I think Ashley answered this question when she came on. I want to know from each of you, which song has had the greatest impact on you personally? And let's start out with Stephania, and then go down to, then we'll just keep going down. I do want to know that, as part of our interview today.
Well, now this might sound biased, but the one song I wrote called Thank You, because sometimes I found myself feeling like I deserved more than I really do in life, and I was feeling like, because of some of the things I'd gone through, I felt like God should bless me more. He should go ahead and do this for me or go ahead and do that for me. But it was just it's just a simple song that says thank you, because if you don't do anything else, you've already done enough.
All
so
right.
That's one of the songs. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate you for writing it. And like I said, every time I listen to each one of these songs, I just go into a place of worship. And each one of them, either it's a happy worship and I'm stomping my feet as I'm driving, or it's the one where I'm waving my hands, I'm just crying. So yes, it has had a wonderful impact. And everybody that listens to it is going to be blessed. Thank you for sharing that, Stephania. What about you, Keisha?
Well, my favorite one that I can relate to is, I would say, waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Been through a lot of things in life, so by me waiting, God has showed up and out. So that's it.
Thank you. And Miss Ruby?
I really don't have a favorite. I love them all. But if it's like you said, if it's personal, probably I can't make it.
Mhm.
Because I can't make it. We can't make it without him. So that would be my personal one.
And sometimes we think we can. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, sometimes we do think we can. And but I think it will be I can't make it.
Oh, right. Well, I tell you what, I have thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of you. Thank you for being a part of the broadcast and being on with me and talking to the people about your group. And I just see you guys going so far, and you're going to be one of those legendary groups that everybody says, oh, my gosh, they're coming to my town, and, just all the accolades that I know that you're going to receive. And so, just stay humble, and you will surely be blessed for the work that you're doing. And I want to ask you guys to just give a special shout-out to Michael Boykin and the Mighty Voices, and Michael Boykin as the Prince of Gospel for his 10th anniversary. Would you mind doing that for me?
Happy 10th anniversary to Michael Boykin and the Mighty Voices from the Alabama Gurlz.
Thank y'all so much. I have truly enjoyed each and every one of you. I know that you got bright stars. I'm happy for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again the next time you guys are close to me in my city, and I'm going to see you again in May. So until then, be blessed, ladies. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.